guys, and welcome to the 504, the show Undercover Boss on CBS. Lets high-level executives in a company go undercover in their own companies to see how things are working on the ground level. Where recently, the show featured Renee Maloney and her Mandeville-based business, Painting with a Twist. She ends up having to teach one of the painting classes, and that's when it gets a little awkward.
There was a blonde-headed lady who got on an airplane, and the stewardess said, "Ma'am, your ticket is for coach. You need to move to the back of the classroom." And, I mean, not the classroom, the plane. Okay, so she's in, it's nerve-wracking. There's sweat happening, and my palms are wet. And the stewardess says, "Well, what did you tell her?" And he said, "I told her the front of the airplane wasn't going to Seattle."
Renee Maloney is the co-founder and CFO of Painting with a Twist, and that was my absolute favorite moment for the show. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Was that as tough as it looked?
It was actually terrible. It was that tough.
Oh no.
I have stage fright, and so getting up there in front of a full class of wonderful guests who are coming for this great experience, and I can't even deliver a joke. Yeah, it was bad.
And you failed art too, right?
I did. Failed. Like they kicked me out of class.
Well, this is Kicks, and this is funny how life works out, because your big success story is, of course, based around art. Tell us how this all got started.
You know, one of my dear friends, Kathy Dino, and I, we were both room moms back in Mandeville when our kids were in kindergarten. And she's very vested in the community, raising money for the community, and I was very vested in the schools, raising money for the schools. So the two of us kind of got together and became the dynamic duo of raising money. And then Katrina hit, and Kathy's house was flooded, and everything my husband and I owned here in the city was underwater. And for a couple days, you feel sorry for yourself, and then you say, okay, we're good at raising money. What can we do? Can we build a business where we can help ourselves, but we can also help our community?
That's so cool.
So we did art events. A friend of ours gave us the idea. And so we started doing art events, and then 50% of those proceeds would go to help Miss Jones get a roof, or help Bobby get a refrigerator, or whatever was in need. And then we found out that people really loved the business, and they were forgetting about all of their worries, and they didn't think about FEMA or the kids or the bills, and they were really enjoying themselves. And so we did a couple more locations. And from there, we had customers who said, "We love this, you should franchise."
Right.
I said to Kathy, how do we spell franchise? We don't know what we're doing.
That's amazing you say that. You knew something though, because it all worked out.
Yeah, we did. We really understood that our customer was enjoying themselves and that we were building a community for women.
Yeah.
And we thought originally it was just going to be a girls' night out, but it was more than that. You know, when you talked to the customers there and they felt like it was an escape, we said, we're on to something. It's more than just a girls' night out, and it was a place for women.
A great idea turned into a huge success story. How'd you end up on Undercover Boss?
Well, Undercover Boss reached out to us, and they said, you know, we were fascinated with your concept, and that it's kind of a new industry that you guys forged ahead and built.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some jobs, and let's see if this is something that would work for you. And so Kathy and I sat down and we talked to them, and really when you're growing as rapidly as we are, you're always concerned, are those core foundations that you started with, are they there? And so you go undercover, and then no one knows who you are, and you walk into your business, and you're in the background there seeing it from another perspective.
Yeah.
And so we thought it was a wonderful opportunity to really make sure that those core values and those basics that we had started with were still there, and that customers were still having a great experience, that the give back component was still there, and that artists were making a living doing what they loved. And so we were in there looking for opportunities for improvement, and then to find our successes.
Really cool. Now, I don't watch much TV, even though I'm on TV. One of the shows I still watch though is Undercover Boss. Were you scared of what you would find? They always find crazy stuff.
Yeah, I was a little afraid, and you know, they asked me, they said, okay, what is it that you're going to be willing to blow your cover for? There's going to be something. I mean, like, what's the mountain you're willing to die on here? And for me, especially that I failed art, and that I have this insecurity about being able to paint, and really our concept is about people feeling comfortable even if they can't paint. That's like our favorite customer, because they feel so accomplished when they leave. If a customer was being shamed, or an artist was not being treated correctly, that was something I was willing to, I was going to blow my cover for.
But it didn't get to that point.
It didn't. We really, we learned a lot, and there's some things that we came right back and we worked on immediately. But there were some wonderful nuggets that we didn't even realize were out there that we found going undercover.
Really cool. What do you think is the most, I guess, helpful thing you found?
The biggest aha moment for me was that I really saw it as the customer's experience. They come in there no matter what's going on in their day, and this experience should be so wonderful that they leave feeling better. That was the core value in the beginning, and it's still the core value. What I didn't realize is, our artists are going through things, and Cinderella never has a bad day in Disney World, right?
Yeah.
So in our studio, artists never have a bad day. You're there to make a wonderful experience, but they have real lives and they have struggles. And I found that coming to Painting with a Twist really gave them the escape. Sometimes it would change their day to be more positive because they really enjoyed that interaction with the customer, and the painting is just as wonderful for them as it is for the customers. So that was the biggest takeaway for me.
Really cool. And then the best part, well, for me as a viewer, is watching all the great stuff you get to surprise them with at the end. How was that part for you?
It was wonderful. And that's really, the teaming up with Undercover Boss with that whole give back component, it really felt like it married our concept with that. We started with the give back component.
Right.
So that was one of the most exciting parts about it for us, is sitting down and really seeing what was going on in the studio and having those opportunities with money to be able to change the studios, change people's lives, acknowledge them, and help them.
And you gave away big stuff. For people who haven't seen the show, kind of talk about some of those giveaways.
So we gave away Calvin, who we met at our vendor, Louisiana Art Supply. He doesn't even work in our system, but he's just a great dad.
Yeah.
And he loves his daughter, and he was encouraging her. I think she's only like 6 or 7 years old. He's encouraging her to start a business.
Wow.
And so we gave money for, of course, for her continuing education and for her to support her in her business. We also gave Macy, who's 21, 22 years old, enough money to finish her education. I think she ended up with probably $60,000. We paid off her debt, and then we continued for 2 more years of school. With Bree, she's really passionate about making sure that people don't go hungry. No one should go hungry in this country. And so she was passionate about the give back. So she's created some great art called Animal Crackers. And so her special painting, which is our rainbow zebra, every royalty dollar for the next 2 years will be set aside for Bree, for her nonprofit, to give back to people so that they're not going hungry. And then, of course, we gave her a franchise, which is the value of over $100,000.
That is amazing. Well, thank you so much for being here to break down what it was like being on the show. It's amazing to see your success and sharing that success with others.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. If you guys want to have a good time, you can visit paintingwithatwist.com. Well, now it's time to talk Super Bowl. After the break, the crazy commercials, and of course, Lady Gaga's halftime show. Stick with us.